Well, welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Tonight's episode is number 118, and today's date is April the 16th, 2024. We welcome you all to a discussion that both Royce and I have had, and my name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm here with A.J. Royce.
Hello, everybody.
Well, welcome. We're going to share some wonderful things that Royce received, and we're going to pretty much start off with that in just a bit. But to give you an overview of what we're going to talk about, we're going to discuss what she received in her meditation today, and then go into speaking really about consciousness. What is it, and becoming more fully conscious. So we're going to get into that, because what does all that mean? And I think a lot of people don't really, they think they may know, but then when you start asking questions, what is this? And so I've done that, asking the questions, and I got a feeling I'm not the only one. And so we had that discussion earlier today, Royce and myself, and we're taking a little further and a little bit further and a little bit further. So anyway, we thought it would be nice to share that with you. And but first, we're going to start off with some information as to really what's happening now in the world. And so, Royce, I would love for you to share.
Okay, this is the insight that I got. At this time, there are many clamoring about. They appear lost, but lost they are not. The moment when it all comes together is so close. We sense it on an all-inclusive level. We know the dam is about to break, for we can feel it. The tiles have been laid out, and the mosaic is beginning to be seen and understood. For some, it will be a bitter pill to swallow, only because the deceptions have gone so deep. For others, time is creeping by because they have seen the writing on the wall for so long. Either way, whether you are prepared or not, the dominoes are beginning to topple. It is a glorious new day that follows the storm, a megastorm that has lasted for more than 2 millennia. Reach deep within and grasp the hand of God that leads you through the darkest of times. Stand tall and proclaim the light which showers you and illumines the way. Be at ease within your own self, for there no man may defile you. Turn your back to the darkness and increase the light within you, so that the light may replace the shadow, even the shadow of thine own self. Beware, the tide is changing, and those caught in its wake shall be undone. This is the first stage of growth, to advance beyond the infant, the toddler, and the teenager. It is the adult who stands on their own 2 feet and decides which way they will go outside the reach of the tides. Go and prosper, and take with you all you have learned.
Thank you. Certainly a lot said in your insight, and I'm going to pull out some of the things that that struck me. And one thing you had said, the moment this is early on, the moment when all comes together, and that a lot of people have been feeling, and something big is about to happen, something really big. And that energy is almost palpable, or has been for me. And then it'll kind of wane.
Yeah.
And then it comes back. Then it will wane. And I've heard a lot of people say, I know something big is about to happen.
Yeah, we can feel it. We sense it on all levels of being.
So yeah, so all of you listening, think about, when you have that feeling, because I got a feeling, that we're all feeling it, and to acknowledge that feeling that we have within us, because it's that's how we determine what's for our highest good or not.
Yes.
So I thought that was interesting.
Well, the mega storm that has lasted for more than 2 millennia, I mean, that's quite a thing when you realize that you've been in the grips of a storm, and some call it a certain type of storm, but that's okay. Things have been topsy-turvy, and a lot of things turned upside down. People's perceptions are so mixed up right now. They don't know what to believe. So that's our prod, to go within, to discern what the truth is.
And you mentioned the dominoes are falling, and we're seeing this on a worldwide scale.
Yeah.
How many people that may be a CEO of a corporation, or president or prime minister of a country, so many are stepping down. And I think a lot of them are being forced to step down because their ways of doing things are rather dark.
Yeah. Like it says here, increase the light within you, so that the light may replace the shadow, even the shadow of thine own self. So that's light reveals all.
It does. Even we've all been. This is what I've been told, that we've been the so-called bad guy, bad girl, whatever, that did nefarious deeds, as well as the ones of true light. And so we've experienced a lot of this in our various lifetimes. And I've been told that we've done it all, and it's to experience it all. And so now we're going back to the balance, and let that light. If you're looking at the light, then you don't see a shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah.
That's where I was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you said that when you're facing the light.
Well, it says turn your back to the darkness and increase the light within you, so that
there is no shadow.
The shadow is illuminated.
Mm-hmm. Then you can see, and then all of these things. A lot of people are having all of these. And I know we talked about this, but it still comes up over and over and over again. It's because people are they're releasing all these things that past lifetimes, and even since the eclipse, I've been hearing people say a lot of their childhood memories are coming up, and they thought, and people from their earlier life are coming to their consciousness, or they're meeting one another. So it's really interesting, because those are things that experienced in this lifetime, or other lifetimes, but this lifetime in particular, that we're letting go of, because we talk about programs and being programmed, and so you said 2 millennia ago. So all these programs put in place that are no longer serving us, or no longer serving humanity.
Yep, and the time of being the infant and the toddler and the teenager, those are the times when you're learning, absorbing, experimenting, all of this kind of acting out. Mm-hmm. Those days are coming to a close, because it's time to be an adult now. Mm-hmm. To stand on our own 2 feet and not be swayed by the tides back and forth. We can rise above and be on our own solid ground, where doesn't have to be ground there or not.
We call it a solid ground.
Yes. Yes, because you're grounded in yourself. You're grounded in whatever your highest beliefs are. Hold true to that.
Or, you mentioned highest beliefs, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but even what we think have been our highest beliefs, some of those are going to be knocked down.
Yeah, and if that's the case, we're shedding light on what has been shadow, no matter where the shadow has been. It says exposing the shadow of our own selves. So wherever the untruths are, it'll be shown, so we can see it for what it is.
Well, one word that just came to me is misled, and that was part of our conversation today. And it's like, okay, whatever Spirit tells me. And so, yeah. However, we are that Spirit, and then we're realizing, trying to get the words into my head here, how conscious creators we are, and
I see it as being co-creators. It says here to take all of what we've learned, to go forward with that, to prosper and to go forward with that. And so I think when I see it as we are co-creators with all that is and all that brought that about. It's all available. There aren't any doors in between us and it. A lot of the religious institutions have put doors in between us and that which is so big, immense, and beautiful that you can't put words to it. How can you shield that from the people? You only shield that from the people when the people are available to be shielded. And so it's our time to open those doors because we want them opened. We want the truth. We want to see the beauty.
And it may not be what we thought it was, or misled by certain religions. And I'm not downing all religions, anything like that, because they each hold their own truth, and they got us to where we are at today. But you may find that it doesn't hold water. Way to say it. Hold water like it once did. Whatever I'm told in the church, then the church is always correct, blah, blah, blah. We're finding out, maybe not so much. And it could be along with the government. The government has our back. They know, they're going to give us whatever's for our highest good. And we're finding out, maybe not so much at all, because we're finding out how controlled we've been through the processes they have put into place.
And that is our entire civilization, not just here in this country, but clear across the globe. It's been an epidemic. And it's, I think we're finding what the cure is now. So.
And the cure is, and you stated bluntly?
To stand on your own 2 feet, to discern, to go within and grasp the hand of God that dwells within, that hand that leads you through the toughest of times. That's where you get your strength. So,
and a more technical version of use that word is that our soul does reside in our body, but our consciousness is our body and beyond. I mean, consciousness resides in our body.
We don't fit within a vessel of any type, and that's including the human body. We don't fit. Just a small amount of us does.
Yeah. And it's for this experience on Earth, but for this experience on Earth, it affects the whole of us.
Yeah.
All right. And so what I see happening, we're starting to use our consciousness more fully. And how do we do that? And one thing that we were talking about earlier, and that word that came to me is the focus. And you mentioned going with the God within, which is, yes, that is us. And what really does that mean, the God within? What does spirit mean? All of these words that we utilize so easily, but what does that really mean?
It's a power and immensity that you cannot even wrap your human thoughts around. So that tells you the power that is available to us, within us, around us. There is no place where it is not.
And we call it, the space, getting into that space, like meditation or prayer. And then you seem to more easily feel it, or you can feel it without going there because you're in that state, and then you are it. You are it in the first place, but
that oneness with all that is.
And that's that internal space, which is really the soul or the spirit that is you, or the consciousness that is you. Sure hope this is making sense to everybody, because it is hard. It's like, okay, what does this really mean?
Yeah, we don't have the words that really wrap around all of this stuff, So we find ourselves stumbling around trying to find a way to express it when it's something that is felt, that is known within, but really hard to narrow down by words, because words, by definition, are limitation.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that's limitless.
Exactly. Well, that's the words "know thyself." How many years, that's been used?
Yep. To know thyself is to know the universe, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you look at it that way. All right. Now, with everything that's going on in this world, the dominoes are falling. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, things are starting to break open, and we're seeing some of these. Well, we're here in the United States, but we're seeing the downfall of a lot of our government officials, our agencies, and how they've been abusing the abuse that they are doing to try to hold up something that's no longer working. I hope I'm making sense there. It's like it's being shown for what it is. And it's not only our government systems, it's our medical systems, our educational systems, all of those systems that are being improved or changed. I should really say changed, because that's really what's going on.
Yeah. And adaptation is the name of the game right now. If you can't adapt, then, tough times.
Yeah, because it's like, what do you mean? You're going to have to throw away everything I believed in? And you're telling me it's been all lies? But that is, I hear a lot of people talking about it's all been a lie. And we said it. And I remember when you came here, you said, this whole thing's been a lie.
Yeah, it's a planet full of lies. Yeah, I remember back when I was a little girl, when I first found out in a roundabout way that Santa Claus was not a real thing. I was more than devastated. I was mad because I'd been lied to. I couldn't believe it all this time. And so from that moment on, I started looking at the beautiful lights, and those lights take you back to the reality of the thing. It's all about light.
And what is light? It's love.
Yeah, bringing light into the darkness. The darkest time of our seasons falls in the winter. And so bringing the light into the winter, that's a time when everything looks dead.
Mm-hmm. So the 25th is when the light comes back, or, 22nd.
Sun starts to make its way, well, looks like it's making its way back to us.
The light, more light on the planet, as in sunshine. So, or the sun. Okay. Royce and I were talking earlier again about an incident that she saw on the road,
mm-hmm.
and I would like to talk about that. If you would explain the incident,
yeah,
and then the power of our consciousness, how we can start changing things.
Yes. This happened a number of years ago. I was on my way going up the highway to an all-day event, and I got to a certain place in the highway. All of a sudden, in all my senses, I felt like the car was turning over, like a wreck had occurred. And I was like, whoa, what was that? And then I just kind of sloughed it off because I didn't know, I couldn't wrap my head around what had just happened. Well, on the way back home, I went by that same place in the highway, and there was an overturned car right at that point where I had felt it. And so that got me to thinking about not only just, when we have those sorts of things happen, what do we do about it? Is it our responsibility to just let it go, or would it have been wise of me to try to clear out that energy? And that's what I have kind of focused upon is it came to me, and so it was for me to do something about it, to go into action, to help to, using my consciousness, that part of me that is limitless, interconnected with everything, to use that to level out and clear the energy so that it's just smooth sailing for the next cars that came through. And it also made me think about our connection with time. With being in a human body, we look at time as past, present, and future, when in reality it's one eternal moment. It's like this one thing that can be perceived in three different ways: past, present, and future, in a linear fashion, like you're saying. So it was like my consciousness, because it's limitless, was tapping into what we normally perceive as the future. So that's telling us something right there. We can have a great effect on all of time, of all of space. There is no thing that we cannot do. And it's time for us to start acting like adults, like this insight said, stand on our own 2 feet. Do something.
We could do something about it.
Yes.
Now, I always ask if you feel something like that, and you are going to use your consciousness to make the changes, for instance, always ask it's for the highest good of those involved. Because, the person that turned over in the car, I don't know if you knew what happened to them, but did they need for that to happen? One, to leave this earth, leave their body, or die, basically, or not. But it came to you earlier, so you felt it. So
Yes, the way I interpret it is it came to me.
Mm-hmm.
And with the understanding that I have now, that was my cue for me to go into action and do what I know how to do,
mm-hmm.
and that is to level out the energy, to clear it, to smooth out a ripple, whatever it may be.
It made me think also about walking into a room of what we would term discordant energies.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll just turn around and say, I can't be in here.
Yeah.
And that is your cue to not go in there, but allow those people that want to be in that energy, that's up to them. But you don't want a part. Or, if it's, you find out if it's for the highest good of everybody in there, you can change that energy. And you can always extend love energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that love energy can be used however each one chooses to use it. So you're not specifying how that is to be used or control. None of your darn business, actually. And then let them use it accordingly. So they can dismiss it or they can take it in. It usually calms people down.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. In fact, this past week, Donna was here in our last podcast, and so we spent quite a bit of time together. And Royce, we saw and expanded a lot of pink energy all the way around the planet. Excuse me, in lots of different places, and it just felt nice.
Yeah.
And calm and loving. So,
but we did that. We went into action because we were our attention was being drawn to certain places, and we were doing this together but individually. So wherever our attention was drawn, we were drawn there for a reason. So we went into action and did whatever it was that we were to do. We knew that from the inside. We didn't hear voices saying to go do this or go do that. We did what we were here to do, and that's to help.
Yep. Spread the love, being conscious. We're conscious fully and assisting the planet and the people on the planet itself to be more fully conscious. I feel that's why we're here, one of our big reasons why we're here on this planet. So if you do feel that, or just think of that warm, soft energy, and you can just use that for yourself, and then you can broadcast it out if you so wish.
Yeah, whatever we take in, that automatically goes through us unless we put a stop to it. So, however we can help ourselves, we're helping all of us. There is that saying that I've resorted to many, many, many times that was on the mast bell of a ship called the Albatross in a movie called White Squall. Really, really interesting movie. But the saying on the bell was, where we go one, we go all. So.
Yeah, that's used, that whole saying's been used in I call it a movement or intel, and that's also known as Q. So, and when Royce first was talking about where we go one, we go all, I'm
back
looking
in the
at
90s.
it. Back in the 90s. So it was long before this intel came out, and she had no idea it was part of that intel. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her like, how can you not know? But, it's not where you go.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how you felt that way back in the 90s,
mm-hmm.
and then it came across in the. It's on a bell too. And what's the bell? That's a frequency.
Yep. Ring it out.
Ring it out. I never thought about that until now, but it makes a lot of sense.
Let freedom ring.
So, okay, just one more thing, because I made a note a while back, and we've talked about the word ascension. And I'm going to ask you all, what does that mean to you? As we've utilized that word since I started becoming awake back in the 80s. What does the word ascension mean to you. And I'll tell you what mine is, and that is the ability of the human to walk this earth enlightened.
And that's by raising the vibration.
Yeah. So we are raising the vibration of the earth, and because of that, the darkness cannot sustain itself.
But we raise our personal vibration first.
Yes.
Because that's what we truly have say over. Do it with ourselves, and then that has, where we go one, we go all. That whatever we do for ourselves, we're doing it for everybody.
Mm-hmm. That made me think of a scene, a little different, but I thought of it, so be it. When Harry meets Sally. Do you remember the restaurant scene?
Yes.
Yes. Well, basically, it's Sally was saying how she could fake an orgasm. So
she went there.
and so she does this breathing thing, and then this lady says, it was ordering, she says, I want whatever she has. And so, I'm saying that only because, we get into this beautiful, enlightened state of being, and then other people are going to want that too. And so where we go one, we go all, and you can start seeing it, you can start feeling it, and ooh, it feels great.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're going. We're getting through the muck, and the dominoes indeed are falling. I think we're going to see a lot more happen. This month of April, and into May, and then on. I'm going to bring this up. I don't feel we're going to go into a World War III. I think that they do call it a scare event. It may be just that, and to help bring out the malevolent ones that don't have our best interest in line with what they want. So I think that's the dominoes that are falling, and then we all come out victorious.
Yeah, I think anything that is that provokes fear, that's your cue.
Yeah.
Become just the opposite.
Don't go there,
yeah,
even though it's called a scary event.
Mm-hmm. But to use that pride, that fear, to go into action with love, with light, with your highest vibrational thoughts for not only yourself but for the entire planet, and for the areas that are involved in skirmishes and the like, and for the well-being of all the souls here.
Exactly. Well put. Well, all right. Thank you all for joining us. Any comments are greatly appreciated, or suggestions, whatever it may be. But again, we do this out of love of what we're doing and sharing with you all. We do feel it's very important, or we wouldn't be here. And so we go on. So anyway, a lot more to come, because so much is going on in this earth. But remember the strength that each of you have, and you can bring that forward and know that you have it. So use that beautiful love feeling that is within you. So our next podcast will be in 2 weeks. So that would be the 30th of this month. So I think that's the last day of this month. So we'll see how this month unfolds, and just hang tight as to what's going on in this world. And just remember that you are love. And so if you feel that anger, that whatever it is coming up within you, find out what's feeding that, and then you'll start seeing what is it within me that I need to let go of, what no longer serves me. So things are still going to come up until you get rid of them. So
yeah, flushing it out.
Yeah. So we're getting flushed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like turning your back to the dark, the shadows.
Yeah.
And then you become that light. We already are that, but we're making it a little bit stronger.
It states the light within. Bump that up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Do you have any last words?
Yes, just to please, when you feel yourself being pulled down, when you feel yourself being dummied down, please don't fall for it. That goes for everyone that you expose yourself to, all the places that you go. If it's pulling you down, maybe that's your cue. Time for perhaps a change. So I want you to know that I love you all very much, and I do consider it an honor to be here on this beautiful planet at this particular time when there is so much happening, when there is so much for us to do to be able to help. So thank you so much. I am grateful that you have stayed.
Thank you. If you want to get a hold of either one of us, you can leave a message, and the contact number is 864-999-3008. And if you notice on our YouTube page, we do put links to our books. So those are with Amazon, but you can buy them on other
other venues.
Yeah, on online venues, that sort of thing. So online bookstores is like what I call them. But anyway, we appreciate that. There's a lot on all of our books, or both of our books. But there's between the two of us, there's 5 books.
Yeah.
So a lot of information is there, and a lot to understand. And with Royce on her, what really is about her life, but it's just some phenomenal information that she brings to light. And then
well, we've both had some really amazing experiences, and we were free to share it.
Yeah. Yours are more in experiences, and then understanding geometry, walking into the eye of God. It's really quite interesting. And then mine is more of my books are, I can't say it's my experiences, even though I've been part of a lot of those stories, and I didn't realize I was until long after I wrote them. I went, oh, yeah, I was part of that life. It was a past life thing. So I'm still learning and still understanding what is in the book, because there's, my books, there's so much in there.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what does this mean? So, both of us are working on our next book. So, again, I'm still accumulating information. It's like, how's this going to turn out? I don't know yet. I got to find out. So, but just accumulating the information and putting it all together to make it understandable. So, all right. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks. We thank you. We love you. And hold that light that you truly are. All right. Good night.
Good night.